Hi everyone, it's Paddy here from arithmetichub.com, thanking you for choosing this video, but reminding you that whilst this is one method to solve questions like this, it's not the only method. With that being said, let's explore this concept a little bit further.
Hi everyone, so today we're having a look at square numbers. Now it's important when we're out looking at this to know what a square number is to start with, but here's some of the questions that you might be faced with when you're looking at square numbers and the types of questions you might have to answer, okay? Name two square numbers that add to make 10, name two square numbers that add to make 41, okay? So these types of questions we may have seen before, okay? So a square number, what is a square number? A square number is the product of a number that's multiplied by itself. So for example, I might have 1 times 1 is going to give me 1. 1 will be a square number because I've multiplied 1 by itself. 2 times 2 would give me 4. 4 will be a square number because I've multiplied 2 by itself. 3 times 3 will give me 9. 9 will be a square number because I've multiplied 3 by itself. So a square number is what happens when you multiply a number by itself. Now, there is a super cringy song that I was taught as a teacher in my school that might help people to remember it, and I was like, please don't make me ever sing that song. And then it's actually sort of handy, and you'll be there going, please don't make me sing this song, this is super cringy, I really don't want to do it. And then it might get to a SATs paper or something where it's really important that you can remember some square numbers, and all of a sudden it asks you for some square numbers and you're like, oh, I have a way. And the way might be this super cringy song, because as cringy as it is, at least you'll remember it for feeling how awkward it's going to make you feel. So if you want to use that, that's completely fine. The first part of our method says, write the first 10 square numbers, use the song if it helps. And the song, very ready to be turned into a meme here, goes something along the lines of 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36 and 49, 64 and 81, 100, job done. Yeah, that wasn't very cool, but also very helpful. So the square numbers, I'll write these down here so you can see them. Square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36 and 49, 64 and 81, 100, you don't have to write job done and do a little point at the camera. Okay, so let's have a little look at these questions now that we've got an idea of what the first 10 square numbers are, okay? So, name two square numbers that add to make 10. So the first thing I would do is I would write out my square numbers, but for this type of one, I'm probably not going to write out every single one of my square numbers. I'm not going to write out 10. So where it says write the first 10 square numbers, actually, you might only write the first 5 square numbers, same as you would do for other sort of questions that we look at when we write the multiples down the side, okay? Because if I'm only adding 2 numbers to make 10, I'm not going to need 81 and 100, because if I add those together, or I add anything to those, it's already miles bigger than 10, isn't it? Okay, so I might write in 1, 4, 9, and actually be like, you know what, well 16 is already bigger than 10, so it's not going to work if I use that. So which of these two would add to make 10? 1 and 9. So 1 and 9. Okay, you could write as an answer to that. Nice and simple, nice and straightforward. Sometimes it's just a case of being able to do it with your eye test, particularly when something as easy as making 10. Really nice because we know those number bonds to 10. The second part of our method says we need to check for the number bonds when adding, because we should know straight away. For adding 9 and 4, it's not going to end in a number that's got a 0 at the end, is it, okay, as the final digit? So, let's have a look at this one, which is slightly more challenging. Name two square numbers that add to make 41. So, now we might write the first 10 square numbers, but again, we're adding to make 41, so it might not be the first 10. In fact, let's edit this. Let's change it to 5, okay? I'm going to write these down again. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Okay? I could go up to 36 as well because it's below 41, and that might help me out, mightn't it? Okay? So they're all of the square numbers that are below the target number of 41. Okay? Now I'm going to have to pick 2 that add to make 41. So straight away what I could be doing is saying, right, okay, which of these would make sense? Which of these might stand a chance of being able to make 41? So if I was to look at them, I know that 5 add 6 here is going to give me 11. 5 add 6 there would give me 11, so it would end in a 1. If I was to do 9 add 4, that's going to end in a 3 in 13, it's not going to work. If I was to do 4 add 16, the 4 and the 6 in the 1s column, when you add them together, it's going to give you 10, isn't it? So it's not going to work. So what I would do is I would look for those number bonds. 6 and 5, we said we can add together to give us 11. Let's see if that works then. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 16 and 25 and add them together in a column method if I need to. 6 add 5 is going to give me 11. 1 add 2 is going to give me 3. Add the 1 to give me 41. Name two square numbers that add to make 41. 16 and 25. 16 and 25, or 16 plus 25. Either of those is completely fine.
If you found this video useful, then I would massively appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to explore more methods or practice using the method we've looked at here, why not check out the teacher videos at arithmetichub.com. Arithmetic Hub has videos just like this on different methods, specifically targeting areas needed in Key Stage 2. There you can practice one particular skill or generate your own sets of calculations designed to challenge your understanding of all the topics covered in years 3 to 6.